The round table is set. The flags have unfurled and the leaders have arrived. The Indian state of Goa has become a diplomacy epicenter. Foreign leaders of all SCO members have reached with their delegations. The main meeting is scheduled for tomorrow, that is Friday. But today was no lull on the diplomacy front. Indian Foreign Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar sat down with his Chinese counterpart Qin Gang. Now, soon after the meeting, the Indian minister tweeted, "Focus remained on resolving outstanding issues and ensuring peace and tranquility in the border areas." Now, this is what the Indian Foreign Minister had to say shortly after the meeting. Relations between India and China have soured on the last few years. It saw a further dip during the 2020 clash in Ladakh's Galwan Valley incident. Talks have been on and off between the two nations since then. Wang Yi, then Foreign Minister, even visited New Delhi last year. Now, come to the next big bilateral meeting. The war in Ukraine has brought out New Delhi and Moscow's ties towards each other. India mentioned that it is not the era of war, but chose to stay neutral on the war, prompting fury from the West. It has refused to condemn Russia for invading Ukraine, but on the other hand, has also called on the bloodshed to end. The two countries have seen trade soar in the last 1 year of the war, which obviously the West is taking keen note of. Now, experts say Russia is unlikely to face backlash over its war in Ukraine, at least not here in Goa. In fact, if you see the members of the SCO, the Shanghai Cooperation Organisation, namely India, China, Pakistan, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan and Uzbekistan. Now, these countries have been more or less neutral on the war. They all have either voted to abstain or not vote at all at the UN resolutions condemning Russia's invasion. So, in a sense, this is a summit where Russia can perhaps flex its influence because it will not have to contend with an East versus West split over the conflict. Pakistan, on the other hand, announced exactly 2 weeks before the D-Day that its foreign minister, Bilawal Bhutto, will come to India in person for the summit. Now, this instantly prompted hope for a restart in ties with New Delhi and Islamabad. But just hours later, an attack in Jammu, in India, ended that hope. Islamabad has categorically said that Bilawal Bhutto, his visit is an SCO visit and not an India tour. Upon reaching Goa, he set the record straight himself.
अस्सलाम वालेकुम, मैं बहुत खुश हूँ कि आज मैं यहाँ गोवा पहुँचा हूँ। शंघाई कोऑपरेशन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में शिरकत करना, पाकिस्तान के डेलीगेशन को लीड करना, और मैं उम्मीद रखता हूँ कि इंशाल्लाह ताला जो हमारा SCO का CFM है वो बहुत ही कामयाब होगा। आप सबका बहुत शुक्रिया।
The Shanghai Cooperation Organization, or the SCO, is an intergovernmental organization. It was founded by Russia and China in Shanghai on 15th of June in 2001. The SCO took birth as a counterweight to US alliances across East Asia to the Indian Ocean. Now, India is currently the chair for this year, and the theme is Secure SCO. New Delhi has been vocal about promoting multilateralism and people-to-people interactions. India is also looking to secure its own interests in the region. For New Delhi, the meeting comes as relations between Beijing and Moscow take on greater significance. China gaining more leverage over Russia could irk New Delhi in the long run. Analysts say the SCO remains important for access to Central Asia, especially at a time when Asia is emerging as a counter to West's long-enjoyed global throne. For more on this, we are being joined by our correspondent Siddhant Sibal, who's our principal diplomatic correspondent, joining in from Goa, and we also have our bureau chief from Pakistan, Anas Malik, joining in on the broadcast. I'll start with Siddhant. Siddhant, you're there in Goa, exactly where all the foreign ministers are there. That India and China meet it went on for over an hour. Indian foreign minister has tweeted, but not much details have been out yet. What more can you tell us about the meeting between India and China?
Well, the message is clear from India that when it comes to the border issue, it needs to be resolved, and China needs to stop breaking the pacts, the border pacts, which China has been breaking, which basically says that there should not be any amassing of troops. Now, we know, and as you pointed out, the Galwan incident has led to a steep fall in the relationship, and the fall continues. And while there have been bilaterals, which is seen as a positive sign, that the fact that both ministers are meeting, and just last week we saw in Delhi the defense ministers of both the country met as well. So essentially, while the meetings are happening in New Delhi, in India, nobody shares the optimism that China is a country with which there can be a proper conversation in terms of situation on the ground. And the situation on the ground is worrisome, is concerning, and the Chinese build-up continues, which of course is a concerning development for India and for the wider region as well.
Thank you for all those updates, Siddhant. I'll be moving over to Anas now, who joins us from Pakistan. He's our bureau chief there. Anas, Bilawal Bhutto was clear that he will visit India for the SCO summit and not for anything else. Was there any specific reason why the Pakistan foreign minister chose to travel to India this time instead of attending virtually like Pakistan has been doing earlier?
Well, I'll circle you back to the interview of Hina Rabbani-Khar, the Pakistani Minister of State of Foreign Affairs with WION just last week. And she said that because the SCO Council for Foreign Ministers covers a host of issues that are covered by other ministries as well, be that be the Minister for Emergencies, be that be the Minister for Home Affairs, the Ministries for IT, the Ministries for Defense. Therefore, it was imperative for the Foreign Minister to travel to India, and that is the reason that they're trying to keep this distinction very clear, that this is not an India visit, that this is an SCO visit. Now, as I talk to you, the Pakistani Ministry of Foreign Affairs has officially released that the first bilateral meeting between of the Pakistani Foreign Minister has taken place in Goa, and he's just met his Russian counterpart Sergei Lavrov, where they, quote, discussed bilateral and regional international matters of mutual interest, assured to work closely for further deepening cooperation in food security, energy, and people-to-people contact, and SCO open new vistas of cooperation and coordination with Russia. That's what they say in a short statement. So clearly, the Pakistani Foreign Minister has a couple of bilaterals lined up, but and a bilateral with his Indian counterpart, currently it seems to be off the cards.
Thank you for all those updates, Anas. That was Anas Malik joining in from Islamabad, and we earlier had Siddhant Sibal joining in from Goa.